We got this story from the AV Club. The trailer for Andy Serkis's Animal Farm won't help you with your book report. The trailer for Andy Serkis's animated adaptation of Animal Farm gets stranger as it goes. In its defense, even as Portugal the Man's Feel It Still blares over the soundtrack, we can see the bones of Orwell's novella within the updates. The pigs reject slaughter, run off their farmer, and briefly find peace. Okay, here's the point. Angel Studios has acquired distribution rights for a film called Animal Farm. And the reason I say it's called Animal Farm, because it has almost nothing to do with the book Animal Farm, which was allegory for the rise of Stalin and the faults of communism. This movie is about communists who succeed until an evil capitalist corrupts some of the pigs and then weasels their way back in. And it's the capitalism that disrupts the communist utopia. And mark my words, I'm willing to bet at the end of this film, the communist animals will succeed and have their successful communist utopia.
This is actually reminiscent of a tweet that I saw, and I don't know if it was because of this show coming out or what, but there was a guy that was saying actually the original meaning of Animal Farm was that capitalism is bad because the pigs become like the farmer, and so it's actually a critique of capitalism. It's not a critique of socialism, which is totally retconning. Even what's his name? I forget the guy that wrote it, but
George Orwell.
Even Orwell wrote that this was specifically a critique of communism, critique of Stalinism, and how the corrupting feature of Stalinism is the people that are in power become better than all of the rest of the people. There's never a true communist utopia, and it can't ever happen. But that fact is totally lost on this. It seems like it's totally lost on this new show because this is just going to totally spin the meaning of the original story.
Communism generally devolves into vanguardism, which is what happens in Animal Farm. They say, hey, we're all in this together, and then a small group of them take over, and they are capitalists. Those guys, they're oligarchs, and they trade with the people in the other farms that you don't ever see in the book. So you might want to blame, hey, they're capitalists, those pigs. No, they used communism, the idea of communism, to trick people into allowing their vanguard to take totalitarian control. That's what that book is about. And yes, of course they served in the capitalist monetary system. Why wouldn't you at that point? It's the best, least worst system we have.
I have a different opinion on what the vanguard is, because the vanguard was, according to Lenin, the vanguard was necessary to show basically the plebs that you need to have the socialist utopia ushered in. The vanguard were a small minority that made everybody else become communist.
Those are the pigs in the book.
Okay. All right.
The communists. So this is, once again, we're on track for, I'll put it this way, like every villain in every media is just Hitler. You know, not literally all the time, but most of the bad guys are always one-dimensional, and they try to have it be some kind of like supremacy problem. When you actually have media that would be great to show young people communism is bad, they turn it into capitalist bad. And some of the critiques are that the billionaire seems to be driving a Cybertruck. And the story now apparently is that a big evil corporation runs factory farms for profit, and the animals are going to be slaughtered, fight back, and take over and create a utopia where they get to sell their own services. The animals then begin selling their services to humans who are interested, and there's a scene where a chicken takes money from a human, and they're like, yay. Then the evil corporation tries to take the farm back and corrupts the pigs. The point is, they have taken a book that is explicitly anti-communist and turned it into purely anti-capitalist because communists run Hollywood.
It sounds like they're identifying problems in corporatocracy, which is interesting. Not what Animal Farm really was about, but the farmer was like the corporate autocrat. And so the corporatocracy is very dangerous. It's one of the downfalls of capitalism is unchecked. Corporations can become their own governments and have their own territory and militaries. So you got to find a middle ground between pure corporatocracy and pure communist. Not pure, totalitarian. I guess you call it vanguardist, because real communism cannot feasibly exist, as far as I can tell.
Do you think Angel Studios just didn't do any research into this and acquired the rights because they thought it was actually Animal Farm?
I mean, that's kind of what I would hope, because I would hope that Angel Studios wouldn't put this out if it's basically retconning Animal Farm. The story in Animal Farm was pretty clear, and it was a great critique of communism, and Stalinism, more to the point, but to retcon it and allow the story
And to
to
create
be
a pro-communist message.
yeah
now
to
for
be
kids.
twisted. It's exactly for kids. It's just it's a
we're,
shame.
We're in Las Vegas right now, of course, as everybody knows. And I've been hearing a lot about how Vegas is dying. And year over year, tourism is down and just general attendance to shows and things like that. And I don't actually think it's because people don't want to go to Vegas. We had talked about this, and I was like, maybe it's probably because they're opening casinos everywhere. Why go to Vegas when you got a casino down the street from you, right? I actually think it's because there's no kids. I think it's because we are in a major fertility crisis and population is shrinking. So everything population related is going to shrink too. And it's going to shrink in these associated ways. I bring this up because I don't know how concerned I am with them making a kids movie for people who don't exist, right?
Yeah, right. There are no kids to watch it.
We have many other problems with our country, and that is what's going to happen next year as we're entering our, technically it's the second full year of no new labor market entrants, or I should say minimal. So we talked about how last year, actually no, I think 2025, so this year, was supposed to be the year that 2007 finally hit. Financial crisis happens, nobody has kids. 18 years later, we don't have kids entering universities. We don't have kids entering the job market. So now, of course, the Democrats are like, open the borders and flood the country with new people who are going to fill these roles. But you can't, because those 18-year-olds were going to be going to college for specialty degrees. You can't replace, management education in management and training with Honduran farmers. So now, with Trump and the deportations, I don't even know where we go next year in terms of property values, the economy in general. I think the economy is very, very bad right now. And I think it's reflected in ad rates across the board on YouTube, which in December should be massive. And they're not. They're stagnant. And this means that small businesses are not advertising.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any way to poke holes in that theory. It is true that a lot of people have been putting off having kids for so long. I mean, I'm 50 and I just had my first kid.
So what do you do?
Uh,
What do you do if next year the market's going to implode?
Buy a house after it implodes.
You see gold?
Put your crypto. This isn't advice, but you would put your crypto in like Tether and hold like a stable coin. So when the value of Bitcoin goes down $40,000, you buy the Bitcoin back, and you basically double your money.
But if the
Gold is at $4,342.
Yep,
that's crazy.
That's a lot of money. I mean, when I first moved down to West Virginia to start coming on the show, I was buying gold coins at $2,000 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what was it trading at 5 years ago?
5 years.
It was like
around
2000.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It stayed very stable from like 2000.
Look at that.
12 to
Nah.
no?
It was 18.
1800, right?
Yeah.
And that was with COVID instability as
Bro.
well.
Yeah.
Look at this, dude. In 2016, it was 1,000.
Yeah.
That's wild.
So
2020 was crazy.
Well, it's
But
2020 we printed a boatload
the price,
of
it's the last year of Biden, really. The last year of Biden, it went from 2,000 to 3,000, and now Trump's been in for a year. It's skyrocketing. I don't think people realize how cooked we are.
What year was the first year that we had to start paying $1 trillion in interest payments?
I don't
Was it
know.
last year? So I think that honestly, I think that the number, $1 trillion in interest payments per year to service our debt, I think that kind of started resonating with people. And they're like, that number, they were like, whoa.
Silver's at $64.
God.
Holy crap.
I think that
Holy
resonated
crap,
with
dude.
people, and they were like, wow, I need to go ahead and save my money in something
Wow.
that's not going to lose value the way that everything else has. The way the
Bro,
dollar
this
has.
is crazy.
63
Silver
bucks.
peaked at 65 on Friday. This is
It's a lot of money for silver.
nuts.
Yeah, I've been like, what technology? What could we do that would really heal things? And I think of plumbing. I'm like, okay, what technology helps everybody? Plumbing helped everybody. We mentioned this on the green room earlier. You were like, that was like the greatest technology of the 20th century was
toilet.
plumbing. So the roads, that's our like sociological plumbing. We can fix the roads.
We just
particularly
lost 1,000 libertarians when you brought up the roads.
the roads. Well, I'm going to put graphene in the asphalt, so they're going to last 1.5 times longer, and that will then help the economy because less construction means more time for trucks to get their goods to the places they need to get to.
What about the people that won't be working on the roads right now? I mean, if there's always people fixing the roads, there's always economic activity paying the people to fix the roads.
I think some people will lose their job, but the cost benefit will be higher. Like the value of having a more robust transportation system outweighs the loss of those people out there pouring asphalt and stuff.
Well, yeah, in theory too, when the population retracts, then labor becomes more valuable. Therefore, people's labor demands more in the market. But the big problem in the West is that we've been backfilling the losses in population with immigration. So this is why the Trump administration is going to be a really interesting test for economists, because it'll be the first time where the labor market will properly retract. We won't have as many working age adults introduced into the economy. Therefore, in theory, Americans will have more money in their pockets to spend. It's all going to be one big test, like you were saying. I mean, debt interest payments hit $1 trillion. Our military budget's $1 trillion. So we're already paying our military budget's worth. It's 10% of America's GDP. There's other countries that have a similar interest to GDP ratio: Canada, Italy, unfortunately Argentina, which probably doesn't put us in great standing, but it's true. I mean, we'll see. We'll see as the labor market retracts.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.